Hiya, welcome to the Bonneville. Today we're going to be talking about one of our favourite spirits, absinthe, showing you how to drink it and hopefully dispelling some of the myths surrounding it. One of the biggest myths surrounding absinthe is that it's hallucinogenic, and although some of the ingredients do have hallucinogenic properties, you'd need to drink about 5 litres of it before they actually have an effect, by which time you'd probably be dead. Another common misconception about absinthe is that it was banned in the UK. And although there were heavy bans across Europe, most notably France in 1914, it was never actually banned in Britain. The decline in popularity ceased its production in the 1960s, and it wasn't until the early 90s when it started production again in the UK. Absinthe was originally produced in Switzerland by macerating wormwood and other botanicals in high-strength spirit. Its first main use was by French troops as a malaria preventative in the 1840s, but by the 1860s it had gained popularity in the bars and cafes of France, so much so that 5 PM was called the green hour, and absinthe was drunk by all social classes. By the end of the 1800s, absinthe had found a home with the artists, composers and writers of the Belle Epoque. It was even said that Van Gogh cut his own ear off whilst drunk on absinthe. The most famous way to drink absinthe is the Louche. You might have seen this contraption before, it's called an absinthe fountain. You basically just have a glass of absinthe with a spoon with slots in it and a sugar cube, and you just slowly drip water over the sugar cube until it dissolves. Another myth you might have seen concerning this serve is the lighting of the sugar cube. This is a modern invention. I wouldn't recommend serving absinthe like this. It takes out a lot of the subtleties of the drink and burns out some of that valuable alcohol. Okay guys, first up we're going to make a drink called the Sazerac. Absinthe only features in it slightly, but you can't do an absinthe video without featuring this drink. It's one of the oldest cocktails on record, invented in the late 1800s by a chap called Thomas H. Handy in New Orleans. Originally it would have featured cognac, but after the phylloxera epidemic of the 1890s, cognac was quite hard to get hold of, so they started making it a rye whiskey. We're going to use both, so 30 mils of each. It's quite a strong drink, this one. Now there's several ways of doing this. You can either build it in a glass or make it in a mixing glass. We're going to do it in a mixing glass and prepare the glass later. Next up we're going to need some sugar syrup, about 10 mils. Depending on how sweet you like your drink, go a little bit more. 2 types of bitters, Angostura, double dash of that, and Peychaud's bitters, double dash of that. We're going to stir this. Okay, just check that for dilution. Okay, we're going to use a frozen glass. If you don't have a frozen glass, just get some ice and water in your glass, chuck a bit of absinthe in there, and just give the glass a rinse. We've got one of these called Atomizer, so this just contains some absinthe. We're going to give the glass a good spray with the absinthe, and we're just going to pour the drink straight in. And just to garnish, we're going to use a nice zest of an orange, give that a good spray on top. And discard, and that's the Sazerac. Right, next up we're going to make a drink called the Green Beast. It's quite a modern drink invented by a handsome chap called Charles Bexton. So, really simple. I'm just slicing up some cucumber, which we're going to use later. Make sure it's nice and thin. Now we're going to build this drink straight in the glass, so get a nice chilled glass, slightly bigger than a cocktail glass. Requires about 20 mils. This means it's going to be quite a light drink. I like my drinks a bit stronger, so I'm going to add another 10 mil, so let's call it 30 mil. And then some sugar syrup, equal parts. And then water. About 40 mils worth. Bit of ice. Give it a stir. And finally, your cucumber. Just slot it in around the sides. That will do, and if you need to, top it up with a bit more water. And there we go, the Green Beast, a really nice, fresh absinthe cocktail. Right, next up we're going to make a drink called Absinthe Suissesse, excuse my pronunciation. This is another classic New Orleans cocktail from the late 1800s. So we're going to start off with orgeat. This is an almond syrup. 10 mils. Next we're going to need half and half. This is half cream, half milk, just mixed together, and we're going to have 40 mils of that. You can just use single cream if you prefer. Now another item which you should be able to get in most baking sections of a supermarket, orange flower water. And then absinthe. And we're going to go 30 mils. And last of all, we're going to use some egg white. Just make sure you crack your egg in a separate container, because if you drop the yolk, your drink's knackered. Now, if you remember from our previous videos, when we use egg white, we do a thing called a dry shake, no ice. This just emulsifies the egg, gives it a nice texture. And now the same again with ice. Then just strain that straight into the glass. And that's the Absinthe Suissesse. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And remember, absinthe does not make you hallucinate. Cheers, mate. Oh, cheers. Rory, there's a call for you, mate. All right, mate, thanks.